Peace and blessings. Good afternoon. I just was recently watching a video. Sometimes I watch spiritual content on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram, things of that sort, to just get inspiration or just keep the good word spread in my soul, my mind. Subconsciously to just keep things of the Lord always on my mind. Because in the Bible it says to always keep your mind on God. And I'm not perfect like all of us are as the spawn of Adam, but I try my best to just keep my mind aligned on God, even if you live in a society that is entrenched in sin, from the rooter to the tutor, from head to bottom, from top to bottom, right? It's just important to keep a spiritual, personal connection with God, and to keep your personal connection with God very strong. Like you would any relationship that you cherish. And not to segue into that, but I just want to talk about Jezebel spirit. Is something I've had personal experience with for like I would at least say 4 to 5 years. Like I had personal experience with Jezebel spirit. When you were chosen, when you were the light of the world, the salt of this earth. Whatever title you want to give it as. Me personally, I don't feel like I'm better than the next man. I just understand that I've seen the devil like in his ways and his tactics and the things he has people do, the spirits, the principalities, like the Bible talks about. I've seen it up close and personal for years, and it hasn't worn me down, it hasn't shooken me, it hasn't affected me. It just, I just received the information, from God, through them experiences. And when you're chosen, that is your experience, if I be so bold to, correlate my life with, like I said, like a Moses, but it's like or like a Noah, or like any of them, the great, the actual real great men of the Bible. I'm just me, I'm just God's humble servant. I'm not nowhere near Moses, Noah, and none of them, David and Solomon, any of the greats, of the Bible. I'm just simply a man who just seen the devil very close hand in my life and other people's lives, especially in other people's lives. My life to a certain extent, but really just more so the climate of the world and other people's experiences. Not really, necessarily through my life too much. I would say like 30% the devil been affecting my life, and then the other 70 is just observing people and just seeing how they live and studying them, really, and just studying the demons, and studying the demonic ways and programming and the spirit of the spell of witchcraft this world is under, to become sodomites. It's just the Jezebel spirit is something that seeks to control, especially us men of God, because I'm a male. It seeks to cause fear in you. It seeks to. The best way I can explain is Jezebel spirit is to program you. It's to groom you, red shirt you, right? Like football or college, or to become Ahab's spirit. That's the sole purpose of it, to destroy you, to destroy your calling, your purpose, your spiritual calling. That's what a Jezebel spirit can come in the form of your mother, it can come in the form of your sister, your aunt, your grandmother, an ex-girlfriend, a current girlfriend, a wife, an ex-wife, anyone. But it's usually prevalently noticeable in females, due to the things that they do. Hot girl summer and then all this stuff, and if you think about it, like the way the Bible described Jezebel and things she was doing is literally what this internet and social media and rap and Facebook, everything is designing it's basically grooming these women to become like Jezebel, to mirror, to control men. It's becoming out of hand. Seems like, my personal opinion, not to judge anyone, I feel like it's a blessing from God that, I appreciate God, I love God, and I appreciate Him for saving me from all the Jezebels, because it seemed like they, their only goal is to effeminate men and stuff like that, and it's like, that is not something that a relationship with a woman is worth. You know what I'm saying? Not to laugh at, no one's experiences with the Jezebel spirit, but I'm just, I'm just truly just, I'm truly just being honest. Like I don't see the efficiency or the necessity to link yourself with a woman to procreate or a life or have a life with, or even just measly sex, an intimate relationship. I don't see the, the benefits of me lining myself with you for a relationship, and in turn, you're doing things to make me become feminine and Ahab spirited. It's like, that is not worth a relationship with anyone. I don't care if it was Beyonce or Rihanna. I just don't think it's worth it, truthfully. But that's what the devil will preach to you through various different ways. The devil seeks to control how you think, to control what you think, and to get you. It's a good. I don't know how to tie it all together with what I just thought about, but if I could just slowly and very minutely just break down the thought I got. It's just like, I watched something from Dave Chappelle right recently. A couple of years ago, he did like a during COVID time, during COVID times and things of that sort. He did a special, and he was talking about a book, about a pimp, and it was about Iceberg Slim, and about how when the prostitutes, the sex workers and things of that sort was tired of living that life, and he'll basically like pacify him with things of money or more drugs or whatever he probably read them and studied them to be pacified with, like a child. So just like and that's what and that's what the Jezebel spirit is. It's like these women, a lot of women are assigned to you. Like a lot of women have been in my life that have had the Jezebel spirit, just naturally, and some, not even like a few, like I could say like less than one hand I could count on, have been assigned to me, like specifically from the devil. So it's like, I know both facets of it. I know both examples of it, like women who are just around you in your community who just are under Jezebel spirit themselves, and women who are specifically assigned to you. And I've experienced it. And usually the Jezebel spirit and the devil, it's something through childhood, it's something through trauma bonds and soul ties, and the devil doesn't work on us at 35 years old. It's like he's been working and working and working and working and working and slowly working on you since the day you were born, like through people, through your experiences, like weaving little, a lot of men that are, the world calls it narcissistic or whatever. A lot of men, let's just break it down. I'll just break it down socially and psychologically. It's like, I'm black and I'm African American, so in our community, majority of women are single mothers. Since the let's say the 60s, right? So it's just like, if you have a single mother, if she is in a country that's not hers, because we're African American, we're not from this country. So just like, America is based solely on paganism. Everything in America is pagan. So it's like, you got a single mother who's a weak. Women is the and not to shame women or point fingers, but they are just the weaker vessel between man and woman, spiritually and physically. So it's just true. They're because Eve was attacked first, not Adam, because she was the more weaker. She was more susceptible to listen to the devil, to fall, to stray. Women are helpers spiritually, and a woman can either make you a strong spiritual leader, or she can make you a feminine Ahab man. There's two women in this world, like, and they have two different purposes. They either can watch you and lie with you and feed you and allow you to live your Ahab purpose, and get a few things out of it and whatever, or women who seek for you to be at your highest peak, intellectually, psychologically, spiritually, physically. There's those type of women who only seek that for you, like. And then these other women, the Jezebel spirit of women that the devil seeks to align you with, who seek to warp you, to groom you, to redshirt you, to become their best, tall, 300K, having a year effeminate Kindle, and which is in turn gonna block you from your purpose, which is to exalt God. Because if your sole purpose is to make this nobody Jezebel spirited woman happy, more than your own God, which is Yahweh, then you're off your purpose, and the devil is won. And that's what the devil seeks to do. It's no simpler than that. He's gonna align, and it might not become from a wife or a girl. It could become from anyone. It could come from your friend. It could come from your best friend. Like they could, Jezebel's spirit can incorporate themselves in men as well. And I've seen that as well. A lot of these men nowadays are very gender fluid, right, as they call it, right? And the Bible speaks of no gender fluidness ever in life. So yeah, I don't really agree with it, but it's just like it's just, that's my personal spiritual belief, But a lot of men nowadays are gender fluid. They call it gender fluid. They're Baphomet. They're gender fluid. I just call it gender. It's two words for it. It's sodomite, or gender fluid. I just choose to say sodomite. I mean, because in the Bible, it clearly states like that's being a sodomite. That's sodomy. So it's just like, I just like keep it black and white. I don't want to keep it rainbow colored or whatever. And there's no a derogatory stance on the LBG community, but it's just pure biblical facts that I'm speaking. It's in the Bible. Everything I just said, like, I might be paraphrasing, excuse me, but the things that I say is from the Bible. It's a published book. It's just freedom of speech in America. So it's it's just the truth. But Jezebel's spirit, and if you look at the things of this climate and what is being pushed, and transgenderism, pride, and especially in New York, it's like all they talk about is pride, and there's three, and it's like they can't wait to mention it. It's like you got D Wade, talking about his 3-year-old son knew he was trans. It's a lot of crazy, it's a lot of delusion that the devil's pushing tonight, like in this world. And if you don't have the spirit of discernment to be able to see it, then you're going to be susceptible to be under it. And then as a child of God, like man or woman, you have to seek to align yourself, partner-wise, with another person who believes in God, like wholly, like 100%, at least 75%. You can't be aligned with people who, like I used to, who talk about God, but 100% of their lives is dedicated towards the devil. Literally, like, it's just like, I used to be lying to people like that and think it was because in a sense, in a way, I used to be programmed as well to think this was the normal and to not question nothing and to just focus on myself and be selfish and not, I was still in the world at the time, like, living in the world and being programmed for this devilish, the spirit of witchcraft, this word is on it. It's just like you're not able to see it at the time. It's like you have no personal connection with God yourself. You're not able to see how other people in your community lack a connection with God as well. But when you develop one, you can see it. You clearly can see it. Like the differences, and they're very prevalent. They're very extensive differences in the lifestyles of people who are still connected to God and people who are not. When you're not connected with God, you're living in darkness, like, and it's just the truth. And people who are agents of the kingdom of darkness, demon possessed or under many various demonic strongholds, are usually the like the actor type person. It's like they gotta act. It's like they act. It's like they, but they're not in Hollywood. They're right in the street. But it's like, they have to act. Because, that is just part of this. That is just part of the possession. You cannot alarm the world like this. That's why if you notice, do media and news and a lot of things aren't talked about anymore. Because they'll wake a lot of people. A lot of things aren't taught. A lot of, it's just, I know these pagans, in hindsight, these, our founding fathers, quote unquote, right, of America, right? Quote unquote founding fathers, right? I'm pretty sure they hate the fact that right now, like they push so heavy for freedom of speech nowadays, when your main focus and your main purpose in life is to cover up the devil's Matrix, right? I'm pretty sure they regret that, but it's just seeing these things and being able to understand these things. It's just pivotal. It's important because we're under spiritual warfare. Whether people want to acknowledge it or not, or whether you're able to because you're demon possessed or not, it's still, the point is we're under spiritual warfare regardless, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. We went from rappers talking about summertime to dancing on the devil. It's like I think we there. I think we at the end of the day. I'm pretty sure. I mean, just look at it. Just look at every celebrity that you see is either promoting the devil, transgender, or every celebrity, like some type of way, or all three of the things. They're promoting them all, like subliminally. As subliminal as it is, if you're able to understand, like, why is this singer who's singing a love song, an R&B song, or a pop song, or, spouting, a costume designed to look so devilish? Like, why, what does the devil horns on the singer Sam Smith's top hat have to do with the song that he's singing? Like, is he singing it to the devil himself? Like, I don't understand. You have to pay attention to things like that. But we're so programmed and so heavily programmed, especially in America, like that we're not able to process these certain things as is the truth. If you just to give random examples, right? Sam Smith, that was just one. Cool. So you got Megan Thee Stallion with the snake symbolism and that's demonic, right? And just what does that got to do with you talking about rapping? What is the snake and dressing yourself like snake? And I get it, it's all Hollywood and it's all motion picture stuff and it's all whatever. But it's like, yo, at some point you got to realize that right is right and wrong is wrong. It's like if we put aside the things we don't want to talk about because it makes us uncomfortable, then what's going to happen when the devil has something come to your doorstep that affects you? Aren't you responsible? Like that, I just feel like that's just the case. Like people ignore the things that the devil does as long as they get a slice of the pie, as long as they don't got to talk about the weird, uncomfortable things, the sodomy and the Baphomet stuff. As long as they don't, that as long as they don't got to talk about it, and as long as they're able to live a social media life that boosters and bolsters their real actual, life. That's the truth. And as long as those three things are intact, people will ignore the truth of the Lord and the truth of this world and what we're going through. And it's like, and I understand that as a way to deal with things and to cope with things. A lot of people are spiritually weak. They're not able to process emotions and intelligence and wisdom, like I can and like other people can, or other, just whatever, and I understand that about people. Like, a lot of people do a lot of these things that they do the devil and do themselves and sin because they're weak. Like they're just weak. Like it's a form of lashing out. It's a form of crying out for help, and they expect you to be able to read it. And I read it, right? But it's just like I'm not, people who are chosen, people who are true believers of God. And yes, we must be persecuted because Jesus was persecuted. But it's just like, yo, do your quote unquote persecution of me. Excuse me. I'm still not God. I'm still not Jesus. I can't help you. So I don't. When Jesus was persecuted, it didn't help them either. So it's like, I don't know. But I just realized that this world is just designed for distraction. It's like a one big distraction spell that we're under. It's like a distraction spell. It's like you see it. It's like when you connected to God and you understand what's going on. It's like you see through it. Like you just see through everyone. Like, And I'm not saying I'm better than no one, and I don't want people to. A lot of people get on this thing called YouTube and they boast how chosen they are and connected to God and all this craziness. And we're all of us, men and women, we're all spawn of Adam. So it means from birth we're of sinful nature. So if I come on this platform and to relay that I'm holier than thou, I would be foolish, right? So that'll be disingenuous to the point that I'm trying to make, which is that no one is above no one. No one is. We are sinful, but you're supposed to fight it and not allow yourself to be groomed by it and then groom the next generation. Which people do. Like that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to fight it. And I'm not saying fight like picket fence. And no, you're supposed to just be like, oh, this is evil. Let me not do this. And it's simple as that. Like it's I don't know. It's simple as that. God finds favor in people who try. People don't even try. So it's like, how you can find favor in you? And that's just the truth. We are all God's children and have the ability to gain access to heaven through exaltation of God. Yes. But will all of us earn that right? Is yet to be said. I'm not God or Jesus, and I can't tell you how many people will do it or not, because only God knows all our futures. But I will say this, from observing this world and how heavily Jezebel influenced it is right now, and the direction it is going, in 10 to 15 years, I believe at least 80% of the male population will be heavily, feminized, Jezebel spirited and heavy feminized. Most likely, to a higher extent than we is now. I really believe that in 10 to 15 years, like, it'll be normal for the average man to be like Little Nas X. I see that's where it's going, because I don't really see, if everything from the Olympics to this to that to this, that, and third, right, to everything that's being pushed since 2020, since God's judgment was cast upon us, right, has been pushed, has been of a transsexual, gender fluidity and pride and, things that used to be pushed, like being tall and masculine and having dreads, and all that stuff is slowly fading out. And, if you really pay attention, like I do, to this world, this society, like everything that these cavemen minded, like Baphomet, is holding on to, with a thin thread, like the belief of who they used to be or who they think they are in the public eyes is slowly being faded out. Like cavemen, like they're slowly being extinct. Like the masculine man is extinct. Like he will be, or at least if he isn't now, he's on his way, he's on the verge, and he will be extinct in the next 15 to 20 years. Like the masculine man as we used to know it will be extinct. And that's just the truth. And that's what the Jezebel spirit is. Because as long as there are no masculine men, truly masculine men through the Lord, like, and doing things and following Jesus' footsteps and walking that narrow path to heaven, like, who will be around to lead for real? And that's what the devil sees. Like, a society of Jezebel spirited women and Ahab men. And that's what is going to happen. That just, nothing else but that. That is what we're in store for. If you pay attention, if you really, really pay attention, like I do, like heavily, and you'll see, like, the things of masculine, like how they used to be, like in 2015 and 2010 and 08 and 07, like, right? All those things have faded out. And you got men of my age and a little older still holding on with dear life to whatever little bit that they still got left of that. It's sad. But they fail to realize that in 5 to 10 years, you're going to be extinct. Like, your way of life and your way of looking at it is going to be extinct. Like, you might have to be in a dread. I'm not trying to be funny or judge no one, but I feel that way. Like, to be socially accepted, you might have to wear a dress to be socially accepted. Like, in 15 years as a man. And that's just where this world is going. Especially in America. It's like I said, look at the Olympics. And that's worldwide. And I don't want to disrespect no one's sexual orientation, like, and seem like I'm trying to make it as that, but just spiritually and biblically, it is a sin against God. It's a sin against yourself and God, truthfully, living that lifestyle. Truthfully. But to each his own. And to every right of every person to live your own life in how you see fit. But from my experience and my beliefs, spiritually, biblically, it is wrong. And I just understand that that's what the devil's pushing. And if you don't see it and able to see it in 10 to 15 years from now, you will. Because most likely, you're going to be in a Little Nas X situation as a brother. That's what I see. That's what I see happening. I see no world in 20 years that a masculine, rapping, Benz driving, diamond chain wearing man was of use. Right? When the devil needs us all to be effeminized. Right? So if you pay attention, like, so the very thing that, these males in my society are holding on to, still to this day, will be extinct in 10 to 15 years, like a dinosaur. Like, and that's where we're going. So I just heavily just want to keep reiterating, like, the Jezebel spirit and what it's about. And this is just a part one of, a topic I want to talk about heavily and extensively, the Jezebel spirit, and in ways to battle it. But today I just wanted to give a brief overview of the Jezebel spirit and what it is to me personally, what I feel, what I deem it is to be, and some things that the Bible says about it, and some things in correlations between what the Bible says and what is reality, like what is the reality we live. In 15 to 20 years, the lifestyle that my younger cousin lives right now, that is deemed masculine, will be the lifestyle of a dinosaur. And that's just the truth. And I just want, so I don't feel the need or see the need for young brothers to attach themselves to this Baphomet way of life so heavily, when in 10 to 15 years, 20 years, if Jesus doesn't come back by then, Lord willing, will be extinct. It will be extinct. You will not live this life. You will not be allowed to be a man of this world, right? The devil's system of things, and to be allowed to be masculine anymore. Like, that's where we're gonna go. And you have to see it. Like, and I'm not trying to scare no one or push fear, but if you got the eyes and discernment to see the things that I'm talking about, you'll know just what I'm talking about. And if you are not ready yet, if you're not yet spiritually on that journey yet, and you'll see it later. You might see it later. And this is for you. And this is the beginning of a segment specifically just overviewing the things of the Jezebel spirit. That I just, because I've had 4 to 5 years of just personal experience with it. And like I said in the beginning, like, I don't want to come on this content and be like, oh, I'm a prophet. I'm this, like a lot of brothers doing. Because it's fake. It's like, it's disingenuous to God. It's like, to me, my personal opinion, I'm not going to say how they feel or how I should look at it, but I just feel like, just prophesizing yourself is to be holier than thou, and, it's just disingenuous to God. I just understand that, I'm a man who witnessed the things that the devil has to offer you firsthand and foremost. So I understand them. That's all. That's the only thing that separates me from me and the next man, because they probably haven't seen enough of it that they understand about it. But I just know what the devil is. I see the devil all the time, like in his works. Like, I see. I'm not saying I physically see the devil, because the devil is a spirit, but I physically see his works and the works that he's pushing into this world, that he's corrupting this world with. Everything that the Bible talks about, everything that people do and mirror their lifestyle now, is what the Sodomites in Sodom and Gomorrah was living, literally. And they were the bad guys in the Bible, and now they're the good guys. And in the Bible it says, in the end of days, good will be bad and bad will be good. So if nowadays, right, and I just want to leave people with this little bit of wisdom, right? So if in the Bible, it specifically says in the end of days, right, that good will be evil and evil will be good. So if you take the lifestyle that the people are living right now, everyone who is like heavily influenced, socially, right, and you just break it down and you attach it to what the Bible says about Sodomites and the people who lived in Sodom and Gomorrah, and you'll see that those two are equal, like 100% equal. And in the Bible, those were the bad guys, and they got destroyed. Who are you trying to be? So who is the person living in Satan's system nowadays, under those doctrines, under those principalities, the kingdom of dark? Who are you trying to be then? Is it someone good or bad? And you have to make that decision for yourself, us, even myself, everyone. And God bless.